I'm trying to get this to have a good view of where I'm going to be doing most of the work at. Eh. Does that work? Kinda. Alright, that looks good. Let me get another book to hold down my phone thing. This one. I wish I could take a picture of the setup that I have because it's definitely kind of janky, but it works out. Cool. I'm gonna start cooking in just a minute, I promise. Alright. I don't think anyone's watching yet. Nope, I think it's still just me. That's fine. That was the water for boiling pasta in the it. This pot has some crumbs in it because I used it to make sourdough earlier this week. It doesn't actually need to get cleaned, it's just crumbs. There. man, this looks surprisingly good, at least on my computer, from just being sent through my phone. I hope it actually looks good. I'm now chopping up some bacon for this mac and cheese, because I don't get to have bacon very much, and when I do, it's important. You can't really see what I'm doing. Unfortunately, I can't touch the phone right now because I have bacon on my fingers. So maybe I'll change the position the phone is in here in a second. As you can see, we got some bacon going in the pot. And I'm gonna let that get nice and crispy and let all the fat render out, and then I'll probably take it out to cook some other stuff in this pan, mostly in bacon fat. Though probably not exclusively bacon fat, because that would be a lot of fat. Ooh, crispy. Still figuring out the best place to put this camera. That looks a little bit better. It's unfortunate you can no longer... Oh no, you can still see Sam's on the fridge. Alright, that looks pretty good. So we got water for the noodles that are going to happen in a while. And here we've got some bacon happening. Not a lot of bacon, but enough to be good. I wonder if I'll get in trouble with Twitch if I turn up the music on the TV a little bit. this is my very small colander that is perfect for rinsing off mushrooms. Some people say that you shouldn't rinse off the mushrooms because it gets too much water in it and they won't get like crispy when you cook them. But because of the way that mushrooms grow, it's important to get the dirt off of them because there might be some grosser contaminants in them as well. Just don't turn the water on very hard because it could like destroy your mushrooms. Yep, that looks like bacon. My cat's making noise. Ooh, yeah, see, this mushroom is covered in dirt. I also like to take the mushroom stems off and wipe them off that way because I just think that the mushroom cap has a better texture. And then when you're feeling lazy, if you pull the stem off, you can just kind of rip the mushrooms apart rather than like actually chopping them. But I like how they look when they're chopped. So I'm gonna do that. Bacon's starting to get crispy. I'm gonna do this instead. somebody's watching me. Hi. Let me look at something. Getting there. Almost good to go. Probably shouldn't have gotten distracted. It's not a lot of bacon, but I think it'll be enough for what I need it for. Too much bacon can be overwhelming. Onion is huge. Not gonna need this much onion. A lot of the time I'll use like half an onion, but I think it's gonna be like a quarter onion kind of thing. Reusable bags because I'm bougie and I want to use less plastic. That bacon's done. Kill this heat. It's gonna be a minute before I have the other stuff ready to go in this pot. And the bacon didn't let up as much fat as I thought it would, which is nice. That means that I can just use this fat for the roux. Maybe I should soak up a little bit of it. Mac and cheese. Fancy mac and cheese is a once in a while thing anyway. It can be a little bit extra. There we go. Put that on that so the smoke doesn't freak things out. Look at all that bacon. So trick with cutting onions, leave the root intact. That way it holds the whole thing together while you're slicing it. And then you don't slice all the way down to the root just yet. You just make a bunch of incisions. And then when you're doing a quarter of an onion like I am, you flip it over onto the other side and then do the same pattern of incisions. And then you cut it from the front and you get all these perfectly sized pieces that are super easy to chop because the root's still there to hang out. Though, like, a lot of people probably know that already because BuzzFeed Tasty has been doing all kinds of shit for years and teaching people how to cook. And I like mine nice and small, so I'll just kind of easily chop it a little bit better. Not smoking enough to be a problem, I don't think. I'm going to add just a skosh of butter into this pan. Like I said, it's mac and cheese. It's not supposed to be healthy. Ooh, I forgot to start doing... I forgot to shred up all of my cheese before I started this because I was so excited about starting the stream. That's okay. The thing about butter is that it can burn and then you'll be sad. So you've got to cook it. Oh, hi Marty. I'm glad you're the one that's watching. I think you're my only watcher right now. Yep, it's just me and you. I'm glad to have you here. Sorry if me tapping on the pans is like not great to listen to. Okay. So I'm gonna let this onion hang out for a while so it gets nice and soft, which will give me time to do some garlic and get the cheese all shredded up. I'm very low on fresh garlic. Oh, they're all so small. All these tiny little garlics. Marty, since you're the only one watching, can you tell me if I have my camera at a good angle? Okay, thank you. Other fun cooking fact is that like you can buy all these fancy like peel your garlic cloves easier things, but like you just gotta smash it. You take a clove and you put it on a cutting board, you take the flat side of your knife and then the skin comes right off. Works better when you have bigger cloves rather than these little baby things, but still works out. And the water is already boiling for the noodles, but I don't want to put them in just yet. That's why I have a lid on the pot so it can just hang out for a while. One more. Come on. The worst thing about peeling garlic is it makes your fingers sticky. The one special garlic tool I do have is garlic crusher because dicing garlic is a pain in the ass and I would rather just put it in a doohickey. And because these cloves are so small, they all fit in at once. Looking good. Ah, there we go. It wasn't loading for a sec. Marty, I love you so much. I'm so glad you're here. So now I have a bunch of tasty mushroom caps. I'm going to get them all chopped up and added to the pan, and then I will grate all of my cheese. The last couple times I've made fancy mac and cheese, I've been excessively fancy and used like fancy cheese from the fancy cheese section of the grocery store. You know what I'm talking about. This time I'm only using one kind of fancy cheese from the fancy cheese section of the grocery store, and then the other kind is just regular sharp cheddar, though I'm still a little bit fancy with it because rather than getting just store brand, I caved and bought Tillamook brand. But still less expensive than buying like aged cheddar from Ireland. Sometimes you want excessively fancy. big old pile of mushrooms into the pot. This should have a great time hanging out while I'm dealing with the cheese. I have it on low so nobody's going to burn. Much like butter, garlic is one of those things that burns really easily, so you gotta be careful. And then if you burn your garlic, it gets all bitter and gross, so. But they should be fine. Another pro tip for when you're making mac and not from a box fancy mac and cheese is to grate your own cheese rather than getting the pre-grated kind, because a lot of the times the pre-grated kind will be coated in cornstarch or something to stop it from sticking together, and that can mess up the consistency of your cheese sauce. Which is a fun fact I'm pretty sure I learned from binging with Babish, but it might have been Bon Appetit. I don't know if there's an easier way to get the waxy rind off of Gouda, so I just take a knife and slice it. Though this is a different brand than I usually buy, so I'm like, oh yeah, cool, that one just came off. Rad. Waste way less cheese this time. Marty, I'm gonna move where my laptop is so that I don't have to walk so far to look at it, since I know that you're there hanging out with me. Decide if now's a good time to put the pasta in the water yet. I'll wait. I also didn't buy smoked Gouda this time, it's just regular Gouda. Smoked Gouda does add a really good flavor, but I feel like since I'm actually adding bacon to this, that smoked Gouda would just make it a little bit overwhelming. Gouda is a really good cheese for mac and cheese though, because it melts really good, and it pairs with aged cheddar really well because Gouda has a much more mild flavor. I don't know if you can hear the dings from my computer, but it's just Facebook notifications. Alright, there's some of that. I'm going to put this in a bowl. Got a piece of wax. Come back. Got it. Okay. Next Gouda. Tillamook cheese because it's objectively the best. So fun fact, the device that I'm using to hold my phone, I got from the plasma center that I've been donating to, because it's this like bendy doohickey that you can attach, that has an attachment to hold your phone that's supposed to make it easier to hang on to your phone while you're stuck on the plasma table. I haven't taken it in with me yet, since I don't watch videos while I'm on the table. I'm just like listening to podcasts. But it's super handy to have for this. I just have to weigh it down the bottom with a couple of books so that it doesn't wobble around too much. Yeah, that's fine. Mix the cheese together. That way it all goes in evenly. Alright. Cool. There we go. For some reason, Discord isn't always updating while you're over here, so I have to turn it around. I'm so glad that watching me cook is a good ASMR for you. To be honest, like with Tim gone, it's difficult. It can be difficult for me to get up the motivation to cook, but like now that I know that I can stream to do this, like I can stream while I'm cooking, I think it's gonna be a lot easier for me to like be like, I should cook today. I can share it with the internet. It's always important to clean up as you go. Good enough. Turn that up a skosh. Another important thing is to make sure that you salt your pasta water. I didn't used to do it, but like, I may not watch Bon Appetit anymore, but like, they're definitely right about some things. I need to get some more salt. I'll be right back. Let that come back up to a full boil. And since we are making a roux to pour all over our noodles, gotta put some flour up in this. Usually you want to add, like if you're making a roux, you want to add the same amount of flour as you had fat in the pan. Since I have bacon fat in this. I don't know exactly how much that was, plus the like tablespoon of butter I added. This looks about right though. That's the other good thing about mushrooms is that they let off so much delicious mushroom liquid that it's the like 1-to-1 fat to flour ratio can be a little bit more forgiving since you also have all of that to deal with. I'm gonna turn the oven on so I can toast this all a little bit after it's done. There we go. Honk, honk. Another thing that I have determined over the time that I have been making fancy mac and cheese is that you don't need to get like half and half or heavy cream or anything. Just regular whole milk is fine. Anything else gives it kind of a weird you can give it a weird texture after a while, like when you reheat it. Noodles are going in. I prefer these swirly guys rather than just traditional macaroni. I think they're more fun. And I'm using the whole bag, the whole box, because I'm gonna be sharing it with my friends. And by sharing it with my friends, I mean I'll probably text Jessica later and be like, hey, do you want some mac and cheese? And then take her some mac and cheese tomorrow. Because I don't need all of this to myself. Alright. We got 2 cups of whole milk, and we're just gonna slowly stream it in. And make sure you break up all of those little chunks of flour. And you can also scrape off the stuff off the bottom of the pot. There's always delicious brown bits on the bottom of the pot, and they're so good, and they're little flavor bombs. Hi, Kit Kat. I can't put you on camera right now, I'm busy. I should use a different spoon. I forgot that I was already using a wooden spoon, and this one was supposed to be for just the noodles. Oh well. That's fine. Come on, come back to a boil. Cool. I've already salted, let's see, I salted the onions when I put them in here, so I probably don't need to salt this water anymore. But I haven't put other spices in it, so we are going to put in some freshly ground black pepper. And some paprika. Here it is. Ground mustard powder is like super good in mac and cheese. This stuff from Target tends to clump up, so it doesn't come out of the top very well. That's probably good. And because I love garlic, we're going to put a little bit of garlic powder in too. And then because I have it on low, I don't need to worry too much about the milk like scorching to the bottom of the pot. but you still want to keep an eye on it and make sure you're stirring it every once in a while. I'm actually going to add a little bit more milk to this. There. Let's check off the check. Well, I'm glad you like my nails. I painted them on the other day when I posted on Discord about it. I do use the pasta water sometimes. That's another reason that you want to make sure you salt your water, is because like you take just like a cup of it, and you don't always use all of it, but it just really helps like bind the sauce together. One of the gardening groups I follow on Facebook, there's a post that's like, oh, I've heard that you can put your pasta water into your plants and they really like it because of the starches, but you can't do it if it's salted. And I think, well, then I guess your plants aren't going to be getting any pasta water because your pasta water better be fucking salted. Nudes are getting there. Let's not subject you to me turning on the garbage disposal while you're in the chat with me. I'm going to turn this up just a skosh. Oh, and you asked about the mustard powder in this. It doesn't really make it sour. It's just one of those things like when I mix, like how I put espresso powder in with my brownies. It doesn't make it taste like coffee. It just deepens the flavor of the chocolate. It's kind of like that. It doesn't really make it taste like mustard. It just deepens the flavor of the macaroni and cheese. Get a noodle out and see how they're doing. Alright, so I'll take some of this pasta water and hopefully not get any pasta with it. There we go. See, just like a cup. Use my bare hands to take care of these nudes. Those are going to hang out in the sink for a minute. Turn turn this up a skosh again. The only problem I have with mac and cheese is that I have not quite mastered getting the timing of everything right. Usually I'm stressing about the pasta sauce hanging out for too long before the noodles are done, and this time the noodles are done a little bit early. It's not the worst problem I have. I mean, it's not the worst problem to have, I guess. This is still trying to thicken up, but adding the cheese should not be a problem. Another thing about making sure that your sauce has a good consistency is adding the cheese slowly and letting it all melt and incorporate before you add any more. I'm actually going to trade out this wooden spoon for a whisk, I think. I'll make everything a little bit more homogeneous. Oh yeah, beautiful. The music I had playing on the TV stopped, but now that I'm working on the sauce, I can't get up to change it, turn it back on. Now I just have to stand here and stir this until it gets the consistency I want. So, sorry Marty, I can't check on the chat right now. It's funny, sometimes the messages you're sending me in Discord will show up on the phone that I have set up over here, but a lot of the time they won't, and then I have to turn around and look at the laptop I have back there. It's weird. Also, I wonder what battery life my phone is at. It's working hard. Oof, I'm at 35%. It's okay. This mac and cheese will be done before the phone dies. I'll just have to charge it while I'm eating dinner. I saved some of the cheese in the bowl so that I can sprinkle it on top of the mac and cheese once I have all the pasta and stuff in here. Because what I'm going to do is once I determine that this sauce is good enough, I'm going to mix the noodles in, and then I'm going to throw it in the oven. Well, I'm going to put some breadcrumbs on top and then throw it in the oven. and having some cheese on top of that will be even better. Turn this up a skosh because I'm getting impatient. Another cool thing about me figuring out that I can stream my cooking on Twitch is that now I have greater motivation to reorganize my kitchen because it's very cluttered. I definitely had to move some stuff off of the counter and onto the kitchen table so that I would have room for all of the doodads I needed. I may not have put enough flour in this because it's not thickening up as much as I want it to. Or maybe I didn't need to add that extra milk. It's not until after I add the extra milk that I remember that I add extra milk almost every time, and then I'm like, oh crap, I didn't need that much milk. It's okay, it's getting there. I guess that's what I get for not really following like a recipe. All right, I'm getting impatient, so I might just add the noodles to this pot and then throw it in the oven. Unfortunately, once I throw it in the oven, I'm probably going to end the stream because it's going to be in there for like 15 minutes, and I don't know what I would do on stream for 15 minutes while I wait for the mac and cheese to get done. Luckily, Marty, since we are in the Discord together, I can just send you a picture of the completed mac and cheese. I guess if I ever have other followers that are watching me do this. Oh, there's somebody else watching now too. Heck. Welcome. Well, I can't, right now, since I'm stuck stirring this sauce, I can't tell if my extra follower is somebody that I know in real life or somebody that's actually from Twitch. But once this is all done, I'm gonna put a picture of it up on my Twitter. So I guess, I am also Dorkapocalypse on Twitter. So in like half an hour, I guess, or a little while after I turn this stream off, you'll be able to find a picture of my completed macaroni and cheese up on Twitter. Unless I can also post it on Twitch. I don't know yet. I'm super new. I literally just started Twitch today. Alright, this is sufficiently thick. That's what she said. Oh no. Yeah, I put too much milk in this, but that'll be okay, because one of the reasons that you always want to pull your noodles, but while they're still pretty al dente, is so that they can finish cooking and soak up extra water. In fact, that's why you want to save some pasta water. And even though this is already kind of thin, I'm going to add some of it just to help with the flavor. There we go. Ooh, I almost forgot the bacon. Bacon. Let's get that nice and homogeneous. Turn that off. I guess I don't have to turn it off immediately after I get this in the oven. That way I can check on the chat and see who else is in here with me. Alright. So then we're going to take the rest of this cheese I have, which isn't very much, sprinkle that on the top. Come on, there we go. I have some breadcrumbs in here. There they are. Back when I was first figuring out how to make sourdough, I had a complete failure, but rather than waste the bread, I dried it out and turned it into breadcrumbs, since it still is bread. Return of the bare hands. In we go for like 15 minutes. All right. Oh, hi, there you are in the chat. I'm gonna mute that so I can't hear you. Oof, that's awful late. I wish I could share my mac and cheese with you. Oh, cool. Ooh, more people are watching me now. Incredible. I'm sorry you guys missed most of what I was doing. I already have the macaroni and cheese in the oven. Yeah, today I'm making fancy macaroni and cheese with mushrooms and bacon. Right now it's in the oven with some sourdough breadcrumbs on top so it can get nice and crispy. That's fair. Usually, I mean, I don't use actual macaroni. I like to use the swirly pasta, but I mean, it's pasta and cheese. It's hard to go wrong. I am probably not going to pronounce your screen name right, but I think it's Pyramir. And I'm sorry that I cannot share my mac and cheese with you all the way in Turkey from Florida. I would if I could. All right, I'm gonna see if I can plug my phone in before it dies while I'm hanging out here. So I'll be right back. This is my first day streaming, and I didn't realize until before I was, like right before I was gonna make dinner, I was like, oh, I bet I could stream making dinner. That might be nifty. And so my kitchen's kind of a mess. Ah, perfect. There. Cool. Oh wow, Australia. Gotta stay hydrated. Well, I'm glad to have you guys here with me. If you want to keep hanging out, I guess I'm gonna straighten up the kitchen while my macaroni and cheese cooks in the oven. If I could send macaroni and cheese through the internet to you guys, I absolutely would. I have friends all over the place that would love to partake in the stuff that I cook. The best I can usually do is mail people cookies and stuff, but with the Republicans trying to destroy the postal system, it's difficult for me to get food to my friends. 7 minutes left on the oven for my macaroni. I got these little things out so I could use it to like put my diced onion in, but I ended up needing to put the onion in right away. Hooray for people instantly. I'm not sure what you guys are talking about, but I'm glad to have you here. I am impatient. I don't have anything interesting to do on the screen. Good job. Oh, I know. I bet you guys would love to meet my cats. This is Peanut. He is a perfect boy. I rescued him from the Starbucks that I worked at. He was out in the bushes when he was just a tiny baby and he was covered in ants. And now he is my perfect boy. I have one other cat, but she doesn't like to be picked up, so I might not be able to bring her in here to introduce her to the internet. Yeah, I don't know where she's at right now. I bet I could probably pull this mac and cheese early. Yes. All right. Pardon me while I fiddle with the camera for a minute so that I can show you the macaroni. There we go. Sorry about the terrible. There we go. Delicious macaroni. Sorry, I'm not good at angles. I'm doing my best. Sorry, did something hurt your ear? My bad. Anyway, thank you for joining me while I made macaroni and cheese for the internet. I'm gonna end the stream so that I can have dinner. But thank you for joining me, and I will probably keep doing cooking streams in the future. I like to cook a lot and bake stuff. So sometimes I play video games too, but I'm not very good at it. So thanks for joining me. Bye!